I woke up to discover I'd been tied up. Well, looked like I'd won the luxury kidnapping jackpot. Then, one random day, he simply let me go. How about you let me stay a few more years? I'm super low maintenance. Drip, drip. The faint sound of water yanked me awake. I sat up groggily, staring into pitch black nothing. A chill climbed my spine, inch by inch, until my whole body shook. Barely an hour ago I'd been on the subway, chatting with a sweet old lady. She'd noticed me sweating, pressed a cold bottle of water into my hand, even twisted the cap open for me. I tried to refuse, but her kindness was pushy. I took a sip and tucked the bottle in my tote. Now it hit me. This was about that water. Something had been slipped inside. Why would a grandma drug me? And what on earth did her welcome gift have to do with kidnapping? It was midsummer. The sealed room held zero breeze, and terror was doing laps around my ribs. Sweat kept sliding off me when I felt the sheet beneath my back. More than half was soaked. It felt awful. I licked cracked lips, desperate for a drink. I inched sideways in the dark, patting around for anything useful. My phone, my purse, maybe a spare breath mint. Clearly wishful thinking. After fumbling for ages, I found nothing except a giant bed and a little table. The place felt like a buried basement, silent, airtight, claustrophobic. My eyes dimmed in defeat. I slumped on the soft mattress. Who would even notice I was gone? I pictured my live and let live parents vacationing somewhere in Canada and sighed. They'd always practiced hands-off parenting. By the time they flew home and started looking, I'd probably be clack, clack, clack. Footsteps, leather soles on tile. I snapped my eyes shut and hugged myself. The sound grew louder. He was heading straight for me, a lantern or something swinging in his grip. Then, silence. I trembled, eyes squeezed shut. Hot breath brushed my cheek. He was that close. Awake? I froze. Young male voice, but warped, like he'd run it through a voice modulator. He stroked my face with feathered gentleness. Panic jolted me backward. He clamped a strong hand around my neck, just tight enough to choke my breath and pin me in place. Open your eyes. My lashes fluttered in terror. I couldn't obey. Open them. Don't make me repeat myself. You know the situation you're in. Ice had replaced his tone. He was angry. I balled the sheet in my fists and forced my lids apart. Nothing. Still pitch black. What was wrong? The lamp was on. Why couldn't I see? And my eyes? I waved frantic fingers in front of my face. He smoothed my hair. Relax. Your sight will come back in a couple of days. Who are you and why did you kidnap me? Just know I won't hurt you. He scooped me up. Blind. I locked my arms around his neck so I wouldn't fall. What are you doing? Changing the sheet. Feeling me tremble. He softened. Don't be scared. I told you I won't hurt you, provided you behave. Sweetheart. He carried me like a child, one arm cradling me while the other stripped and replaced the bedding. Through the thin cotton of my dress his palm radiated heat. My cheeks burned. Pervert. His heartbeat drummed against my ribs. Moments later the bed was fresh. Yet he didn't set me down. He walked me into a brighter area. My vision was mush, but light still stung. Water gushed. Steam soon clouded the air. Thick and warm. He finally lowered me and stunned me by tugging the zipper down my back. Bath time. So this was a bathroom. I clutched my collar, begging, can I wash myself? You're blind, he clipped, hand pausing mid-motion. I might manage. I tried negotiation. Too late. The zipper was down. My creamy skin hit the humid air, and his breathing roughened. My dress pooled at my feet. Don't. I folded over, shielding myself, tears dripping from sheer shame. Why cry? He crouched, watching tears plop, asking a question he already knew the answer to. Red-rimmed eyes refused to answer. A stranger had stripped me. Of course I cried. You'd better get used to my touch. Sooner or later we'll do far more intimate things. Yes, I am, he agreed casually, large hand gliding to my lower back, then farther. I jerked upright. Please, leave that part on. No reply. He simply lifted me and lowered me into warm water. My tense muscles unclenched at once. A familiar orange blossom scent curled up, my own everyday shower gel. His hands moved over me. Stop squirming, he rasped. His touch was gentle, yet my body shook non-stop. After an eternity he announced, done. He dried me, slipped a fresh soft nightgown over my head, carried me back, and laid me on the new sheets. The instant his arms withdrew, I scrambled toward the headboard. Wait for me, he murmured. I heard him shower in the next room. Sight gone. Hearing sharpened, every droplet rang like glass. Soon he returned, skin cool from the water. My stomach gave a loud gurgle. Hungry. Food's almost here. He climbed in. I shrank into the corner, but he dragged me flush against him. Hiding, he tilted my chin up. Pain pricked. Then he crashed his mouth onto mine, lips sliding to my ear. He warned, every time you hide, I'll kiss you until you stop. Jerk. Food arrived, an aroma I recognized instantly. He twirled noodles on chopsticks and raised them to my lips. Eat. I tasted. golden signature crab roe noodles. I was perfectly capable of feeding myself, but he treated me like a broken doll, bathing me, spoon-feeding me, patting my mouth with a wet wipe. Now I understood. He planned to nurse me into total dependency, a helpless pet who could live only through him. I chewed slower and slower. Full. I nodded. Docile. He wiped my mouth, then slurped the leftovers himself. A phone buzzed. He answered and left, but not before kissing me senseless, mouth invading mine until I pressed weak palms against his hard chest. The kiss finally broke. Reluctant. Alone again. Bored. No phone. No company. No exit. The drug still lingered. Drowsiness won. In my dream a giant beast sat on my chest. I woke gasping, because he'd pinned me against his torso. Morning. Still early. Sleep. He smoothed my back. You're crushing me. His hand paused, then eased a sliver of space, immediately resuming the lazy petting. Under that hypnotic rhythm I drifted off again. I have to admit, my heart's the size of a canyon, abducted and still sleeping like a baby. My parents' hearts must be oceans. Because it's day 3 and they still haven't noticed I'm gone. That morning the first thing I saw was a white ceiling. I scrambled up from the massive white bed, heart racing, hands shaking. He hadn't tied my wrists or ankles, so I could move freely. Maybe he didn't expect my vision to clear so soon. There was a door, and hope sparked in my eyes. Barefoot, I tried the handle. It turned. Could daylight really be waiting on the other side? I swallowed a mouthful of nerves and tiptoed out of the room that had caged me for 3 days. A long, hushed corridor stretched ahead. Dead silence. Ornate wall scones cast an icy glow. I kept walking, maybe 2 minutes, until another door appeared, left ajar, unable to resist. I peeked through the crack. My eyes bulged in horror. He stood with his back to me, razor sharp in a black suit, pale fingers pinching a cigarette, a blood-mottled whip in his right hand. Just that silhouette exhaled menace. On a crude cross hung a pudgy man whose face had been pulped to raw meat. His body was streaked with whip cuts. No patch of skin left intact. What could the guy have done to deserve this? Am I next? I squinted. The battered fat man looked familiar. Then I spotted the jade bead bracelet on his wrist. Hell, that's the pervy manager who groped me. He bragged to the whole office his bracelet was one of a kind. Before the shock wore off, Adrian angled his head, sensing something. I slapped a hand over my mouth and bolted. I've never run this fast. Not even from stray dogs. Gasping, I dove back into my original room. From one end of the corridor to the other, only 2 rooms on this floor. I sat on the bed replaying my life. Did I ever offend anyone? Maybe when I kindly asked the neighbor boy to play house in kindergarten. I insisted on being the dad. He had to be the mom. I shook my head furiously. No way. Impossible. Who holds a grudge for 15 years? Then the door opened. He was back. He stepped close. Skin cool from the shower. Scent of body wash in the air. He leaned to my ear. Intimate. Baby, I'm home. I stared at the silver demon mask covering his face, only the hard line of his jaw showing. He noticed. You can see? I nodded. He didn't look surprised. You've been so good, waiting at home like a darling. Let me take you somewhere you'll love. He scooped me up like I weighed nothing. Down the corridor he carried me, then stopped. A slender finger pressed a spot on the wall. Panels slid apart to reveal a hidden elevator. My jaw dropped. Secret passages. Are you kidding me? Ding. We rose to the 2nd floor. Luxury meets vintage. Wide halls, thick carpet swallowing every footfall. He pushed open the mahogany doors to a vast room. Center stage, a castle-shaped cage of pure gold, layered with eider-down quilts. Planning to lock up this little dinosaur in a golden cage. His voice was husky. I wanted to wait until it was finished. But I couldn't. I had to see you early, baby. I snorted inwardly. Early kidnapping is more like it. Fancy words aside. Do you like it, Serena? I stroked the cloud-soft eiderdown. Love it. Can I ask something awkward? Adrian's gaze slid to the sliver of skin showing at my neckline. His voice dropped. Ask. How exactly am I supposed to handle basic bodily functions? I gave him my politest smile. Hearing that, his eyes darkened. He cupped my throat and kissed me hard. In the mood already? Startled. It took me a second to realize what he meant. Pervert. Every thought is tinted yellow. That's not. I mean, where do I poop? Mister? Fairies use bathrooms too. He stroked my hair gently. Don't worry. I'm preparing to quit my job. Panic leapt up. I grabbed his hand. No, big bro. Listen to reason. Don't toss your bright future for little old me. His large hand enclosed my fist, toying with my fingers. But I want to be with Serena every second. My mouth twitched. Shouldn't argue with a love-crazed maniac. Why won't he listen? Fine, whatever. He carried me one arm to a walk-in closet. Doors open to racks of ultralux dresses, spring, summer, fall, winter, every hot release. Squeezed among them, a few dark suits looked almost pitiful. Like them, baby. Geez, did he empty the whole boutique? I lifted a sparkly little nightgown and peeked at the tag, 5 figures. 4 months of my wages. I set it back like it was glass. It's a slip, not a jetpack. What's wrong? If you don't like these, I'll have the stylist bring another batch. And I tried to talk him out of quitting. He's richer unemployed than I'll ever be. No, I love them. Will you wear this tonight? Sure. I thought he meant the dress I just held. Instead, he plucked out a lace slip nightgown with a bow, virginal yet wicked. Backless down to, hey. My face went tomato red. Too much, please. He kissed my neck, whining softly. So, yeah. I ended up in that lace slip. Tonight Adrian was a man possessed, dotting my skin with pink brands. Obsessive, worshipful. He chanted my name over and over. Serena. He stands at the floor-to-ceiling window, surveying the glittering skyline. Hey, his low voice rumbles. Adrian, you haven't come by lately. Cole is his therapist, also his friend. I've found my medicine. Cole hesitates, a bad feeling drumming behind his eyes. What do you mean? You kidnapped her? Adrian answers like he's confirming the weather. Cole explodes on the other end to Adrian. You can't just abduct people. It's illegal. You get that? Stop with the let the girl go. Normal people ask someone out. Talk. Text. Normal stuff. Cole massages his temples. Whenever this guy goes quiet, he's scheming something insane. Adrian sounds almost smug. She's doing great. Sleeping well. Eating. Hasn't begged to go home once. Serena. Sure, whatever you say. He smiles at the memory. In the golden cage, she dozed off like a piglet. Tiny snores and all. Serena, I was exhausted. Of course I crashed. On his end, Cole is speechless. You two are made for each other. Truly. At least treat her right. Kidnapping is crime enough when you know, don't force anything, okay? Adrian arches a brow, yanks off his tie, and slowly unbuttons the collar of his white shirt. Quit yammering, he said, and hung up. A matte black Bugatti purred at the curb. He sat inside. From a velvet-lined box he lifted a jadeite bangle that looked like glass. He took my wrist, slid the cool ring over it. From now on it never comes off. I nodded like the good girl he wanted. Adrian bent, kissed the crown of my head. That's my girl. Then he slipped off his own tie and blindfolded me with it. NN. Wait for me. 9. Could someone please explain what just happened? I untied the silk from my eyes, stared at my own front door, and stood there wind-whipped and dumbstruck. Right behind me, equally wind-whipped, were a dozen giant suitcases. It had been 12 hours since I was sent home. I sat on the couch in pajamas, a potato chip between my teeth, and announced to the 2 people in the doorway, Mom, Dad, I was kidnapped. Mom and Dad, both named Vance, exchanged the look of parents who'd seen it all, then studied me head to toe. Rosy cheeks, glossy hair, even rounder than before. Nobody's idea of a hostage. Vance paused mid-lift of a suitcase. Mom hurried over, patting my knee. Baby, are you mad we went on vacation without you again? I rolled my eyes so hard they almost hit the ceiling. You ditch me every other week. Next time for sure. I've heard that line since kindergarten. They still didn't buy it, so I jumped up. I'm serious. On the subway some granny handed me a cup of water. Next thing I know I'm waking up on a king-size bed. And then I was in full thriller mode. Spitting crumbs. Dad Vance shot Mom Vance eye signal. I'll start dinner. Hello, Oscar-worthy monologue here. And you two are tuning me out. Mom propped her chin on her fist. Did this kidnapper abuse you? No, but he threatened me. Tons. If threatened to kiss you breathless, counts. Did he starve you? No. 6 catered meals a day. Actually, so, no. Dad Vance finally snapped, grabbed the feather duster, and pretended to swat me. Brat, if you're going to lie, make it believable. Sounds like you spent a month as somebody's pampered ancestor, not a hostage. Dad Vance trotted back and waving a spatula. Dinner's ready. My 2 princesses, calm down and eat. At the table Mom saw me frown and teased. What? Serena's taste buds are now too refined for your father's cooking? And those crates outside, did you rob a bank while we were gone? 1 month later I was back at Sterling, a tiny cog in the corporate machine. Now this felt real. If it weren't for the jadeite bangle locked on my wrist, I'd swear the whole thing had been a dream. One afternoon, I tried everything, soap, oil, prayers. Could you help me get this off? Serena, if a bracelet won't leave your wrist, it means it's fated to stay. Take it off and you'll jinx your own luck. The saleswoman gave me a misty, ominous smile and stopped talking. I yanked my hand back. Jinx how? Don't leave me hanging. Okay, I'll keep it. Geez. The woman exhaled in relief, kept her retail smile plastered on, and practically shoved me out the door. Have a great day. Serena, Cough cough cough. My throat itched from dawn. I couldn't stop wearing a surgical mask. I dropped my finished report on manager's desk. When I got back, Skylar saw me hacking away and set several packs of cold medicine and cough syrup on my desk. Frowning. And you coming down with something. Try a packet. Works fast. Thanks. But pills barely touch me. Ever since I was little I've needed IVs to kick a cold. Whoa, that bad? Skylar's eyes went wide. Cough, it's fine. I'll swing by Eastbrook after work for a drip. Yo, bro, you've been staring for 30 straight minutes. Did you come to see me or to spy on your little kitten? Cole watched his friend stand motionless at the window and couldn't resist. Cole's Eastbrook sat directly across from Sterling. Adrian flicked him an arctic glance, then went back to surveying the opposite building. You're, what? 500 yards away. You can't even see her eyelashes. Shut it. Seriously, why'd you send her home? Weren't you obsessed with keeping her? Cole looked genuinely puzzled. The old man's back from overseas. Cole's face cleared. Ah, the patriarch's orders, some heiress on the hook. Right? I'll marry no one but a nun. Adrian's voice went glacial. A storm of violence curled around him. Cole shivered, already pitying the girl across the street for catching the eye of this psycho prince. 10. I've lined up another blind date. Pass. That's the second this month. I'm 24, not 40. Why the rush? Oh please. Remember how you bombed the last one? I looked guilty, so my hair had resembled a bird's nest. My dress had a rip, and my vibe had been escaped mental patient. Vance flopped onto the couch, cracking sunflower seeds. You love Golden's food. Right. Dinner's there. Worst case, it's free fine dining with a stranger. I tilted my head. Actually, not terrible logic. Dress like you have a mortgage and a 401k. This one's rich, tall, and hot. Vance pictured the matchmaking corner, still weirded out by the guy who'd handed out his own resume, though the credentials had been impressive. Dad Vance sighed, mourning the day his little fleece vest would fly away. Golden hid on a quiet stretch of Hushon Road in downtown Riverdale. Getting a reservation took a month's patience. Private dining room, Moonview Pavilion. I pushed open the carved door. A man with CEO-level composure sat in a pearwood chair, profile cold as frost. For a second I thought Mom had texted me the wrong address. He heard the hinges, lifted his eyes. Bottomless darkness glinted with obsessive hunger. He gave a lazy half-smile. You may begin service. Waiter, yes, sir. His gaze pinned me like a butterfly. Dangerous. Eerily familiar. I steadied my voice and walked forward. Hello, are you Adrian? He extended a courteous hand. Hello, Serena. I'm Adrian. Dishes landed in rapid succession. The staff vanished. Just him, me, and a lazy Susan of every favorite food I'd never told him I had. I stared, stunned. Eat while it's hot, he murmured, pouring tea. Long, tendoned fingers. A black mole on the inner joint. Veins like blue rivers under the skin. Serena. I snapped out of it, caught red-handed ogling his hands. Flaming cheeks. I met his eyes. Sorry. What? A slow curve of lips. Your tea. Oh, thanks. Delicate steam scented the room. Peaceful. Almost soporific. Adrian drank in the sight of me drooping in his arms, palms stroking my cheek. Anan. Naughty girl. Dating behind my back. Didn't I tell you to wait? He scooped me up, carried me into the suite attached to the private room. I napped the entire afternoon. I sat up on the lacquered daybed. Ouch. A weird sore spot on my hip. A note lay on the bedside table. You seemed exhausted. Serena. Until next time. I glower at the vase of irises beside me. Ever since Mr. X and I had dinner, a fresh bouquet arrives at noon sharp. Today marks day 5. Yet he hasn't called, texted, or shown up. Am I supposed to chase him? Jerk. I may think you're gorgeous, but if I don't come looking for you, don't take it personally. Just then my phone rang, an unknown number. Serena. Hi, it's Adrian. Could you do me a favor tonight? I slipped my hand through Adrian's arm and stepped into the mansion. In an instant, we were the center of every stare. Adrian flashed me a small smile and bent to my ear. Don't be scared, stick with me. I drew a slow breath and nodded hard. Tonight was the Caldwell family gala. To dodge the marriage interrogation, Adrian wanted me to play his girlfriend, $5,000 for one night of acting, and I was definitely up for it. Caldwell, honored at last. A cluster of men in tailored suits greeted us. And this lady is. Eyes swiveled to me. Adrian's smile stayed lazy. My wife, Serena. The whole room froze. I gave an awkward little wave. Hadn't heard you'd tied the knot. Congratulations. Someone lifted a champagne flute toward us. I nervously reached for the nearest glass, but Adrian gently pressed my hand down. I'll drink for both of us. While everyone toasted, I felt one gaze stapled to to me, never wavering. I glanced around and locked eyes with her. She smiled when she saw me looking, malice glittering cold enough to raise goosebumps. My jaw almost hit the floor. Had to be Adrian's unreachable first love. And now I was the bullseye for payback. Adrian noticed my freeze. You okay? Too many people. Want some air? I shook my head. I'm fine. Adrian. It was her. She clutched his sleeve like they were still kids. Chest basically glued to his arm. Disgust flickered across Adrian's eyes. He peeled her fingers off. Tears shimmered in hers. Why? I just flew home. Uncle Caldwell said we'd get engaged the minute I returned. Then she whipped her glare to me. And you pick this plain, frumpy has-been. She's not good enough. Only I am. Adrian. Me? I've literally done nothing to any of you. Chloe. Want to lose that tongue? Realizing he wasn't bluffing, Chloe wavered while snickers circled the room. She lunged, shoving me hard before anyone could react. I toppled backward, arms windmilling, straight toward a towering pyramid of crystal flutes. At the last second, someone yanked me close, folding me into a shield. Crash. Glass exploded across Adrian's back. I squeezed my eyes shut. Warm droplets hit my hand. I opened my eyes. Crimson. Adrian. Talk to me. Say something. Adrian. Chaos erupted. Screams layering over each other. Eastbrook. Want some apple. Adrian. I'll slice it. His head was wrapped like a mummy's, but the bandages couldn't hide the cheekbones. Pale lips curved. If you cut it, I'll eat it. Thank you for saving me. I perched beside him and lifted a sliver to his mouth. Think nothing of it. Annie. Thing is, I'd kill for a shower. Starting to feel grimy. I studied him, frail against the pillows. Can you even stand? I'll grab the doctor. The doctor walked in on rounds, so I asked. He adjusted his glasses. Solo bathroom trips off the table. Why don't you give him a sponge bath right here? My cheeks ignited. Okay, doctor. Triumph flashed in Adrian's eyes. I came back with warm water and a towel. He watched like a kid on Christmas morning. His wounds were on scalp and back, so the gown tied in front. I laid the steaming cloth on the ridges of his abs and slid it slow. My pulse sprinted. His breathing hitched. The air turned thick. My hand drifted lower. His clamped over it. Flushed. He rasped. Seems I underrated how much I want you. I stared, eyes rounding at the tent in the sheet, then noticed red seeping through the dressing. I'll get the doctor. All right. What VEU tube been hiding? I gaped at Mom's grin and Dad's long face. Huh? Mom flicked on the news. Caldwell's secret bride. Shock twist. Not the Quinn heiress? The screen froze on me, curled into Adrian's side while he looked down at me. How did that hit the press? Only now did I clock why coworkers had stared like I'd sprouted horns. But our marriage was a prop. Right. Now half the city thinks it's the real thing. You kids move fast. Told you he's a catch, didn't I? Honey, I knocked my forehead. Mom, it's a contract, okay? After my explanation, Mom shoved my purse at me. Fake. Then make it legit. I know you. Off to Eastbrook. Stay there till he's discharged. Don't bother coming home. I just got home. I slipped out at lunch, planning to pick up kanji for Adrian. I pushed the door and almost dropped the bags. Black-suited crowd everywhere. Eat. His stormy face softened the second he saw me. I'll eat. I carried the styrofoam bowl to his bedside. Who are they? Background noise. The old man in the armchair sized me up. Contempt sharp as broken glass. So you're the girl. I know it's pretend. Every stray thinks she can marry into my family. That lit the fuse on every hour of frustration I'd stockpiled. Sir, didn't anyone tell you I'm nothing but contrary? Keep saying I'm not good enough. I'm staying just to spite you. I spun to Adrian, deadly serious. Let's steal the family register and file the paperwork. Adrian answered at once. Done. Caldwell sputtered and crumpled. I yelped, looking to Adrian. He glanced over calmly. He's fine. Are you all blind? Escort him back to the estate. Minutes later the room was empty. Adrian rose, eyes locked on mine. Tomorrow's supposed to be lucky. Let's do it. Rings are ready. My face burned. Okay. I dove into his dark gaze. Will you belong to only me? He smiled. I already do. I beamed. Time to sneak home and rob the safe for that red booklet. I'll keep these. Adrian slid both little red books into his pocket, brushed my neck, kissed my forehead. Baby, you're finally mine. I threaded my fingers through his. Obsession bear. Adrian, you're finally mine. Through my eyes. I first saw Adrian in the high school piano room. I was a freshman. He a senior. The music reeled me in. I cracked the door. Long, elegant fingers danced over ivory and ebony. When I looked up, my heart forgot how to beat. From then on, wherever he showed, I somehow managed to bloom in the background. He was the sun everyone orbited. I was roadside chicory no one picked. One brush of his hand and I blossomed. How do I make him mine? I want to own him so badly, it hurts.